Is the world more peaceful since the revolution?
With a brand new trailer and a whole lot of hype, the anticipation for The Mandalorian is building to an all-time high. Being described as more of a western than a sci-fi, fans everywhere are eager to see just how this new story could tie into the movies we know and love.
As you wish.
And one shot in the trailer might just hint at a bigger connection than we ever anticipated. There aren't many shows out there that we are as excited to check out as The Mandalorian. What's not to love? It has a stellar cast, a reportedly massive budget, and enough nostalgia to keep this brand new show somehow feeling like a part of our childhoods. While the exact details of the series are being kept under lock and key just like any other Star Wars creation, we do know a few things about how it is going to play out. Firstly, we know it is centered around a so far unnamed Mandalorian bounty hunter, living and working outside the bounds of the New Republic. The events of the show are said to take place 5 years after what happened in Return of the Jedi and before the creation of the First Order. While some might have thought that a show about a Mandalorian would have been about fan favorites Jango and Boba Fett, we now know that this show will take place after their stories concluded. At least, that is what we're supposed to believe. While we might not see Boba Fett or Jango, there are a ton of awesome new characters to look forward to. For starters, we'll be seeing a lot of Carl Weathers as bounty hunter boss Grief Sarga, the man who presumably sets the Mandalorian out on the mission that kickstarts the show in the first place. Mixed martial artist turned actress Gina Carano is also joining the cast as an ex-rebel named Cara Dune. Our favorite New Zealand export, Taika Waititi, will be voicing the brand new IG-11 droid with an inability to lie, along with appearances from Bill Burr, Nick Nolte, Ming-Na Wen, and the legendary Werner Herzog, who based off the new trailer appears to be a seriously important part of the series. Personally, we'll take as much Herzog as we can get. Lay it on us, Mandalorian. The show has made it pretty clear that they aren't going to be revisiting the old Star Wars stories, but instead focusing on creating as many new ones as they can. But that doesn't mean that they won't be tying in some references to the movies. How could they not? Seeing as how all of Star Wars still takes place in the same galaxy, there are bound to be some links and connections from the films to the TV shows and back. And just like all of the recognizable vessels from the Resistance fleet featured in the newest Rise of Skywalker trailer, these links often seem to come in the form of a spaceship. The biggest connection that we can see so far came in a blink and you'll miss it moment from the new trailer that made us jump. If you look carefully at about 1 minute and 4 seconds, you can see a very clear shot of a CIS HMP gunship from the animated series The Clone Wars. This particular ship was a model of a repulsor shift airspeeder that was built by the Geonosians and was loaded with missile pods and laser cannons. Usually, the CIS HMP was used to transport armies of battle droids into the middle of a conflict. We know that all of the droid armies were deactivated in one fell swoop.
The control ship has been destroyed! Look!
And that the Empire would have tried to gather all of the droids and the ships as quickly as possible. But we also know that the galaxy is full of smugglers and scavengers who would have done the same. Chances are, in the world of The Mandalorian, this ship isn't carrying its usual cargo load of droids, but may have instead been commandeered by some unknown figure and is being used as an extremely powerful weapon. We also can't leave out the fact that there have clearly been a ton of stormtrooper casualties in the events that have led up to where we enter The Mandalorian. Piles of dusty discarded helmets and heads on sticks are indicators that the fallout from the Battle of Endor is still fresh in everyone's minds. Werner Herzog even asked the question in the beginning of the trailer. He asks the Mandalorian, "Is the world more peaceful since the revolution? It is a shame that your people suffered." So, whatever the events are in the whole of the series, we know for sure that the wounds from the revolution are still very much felt by everyone involved, and it's probably going to play a big part in the conflict of the show. Series showrunner and writer Jon Favreau has been very open about the fact that the bedrock of The Mandalorian is set on top of the events from the prequels, and not the original trilogy, as most people would be tempted to do. And that's not just because of the lore, it's the way that the movies themselves were made. Favreau has cited George Lucas as a true pioneer of digital photography, and one of the first to incorporate completely computer-generated characters into his films.
Their banking clan will sign your treaty.
It's in this spirit that they set out to make The Mandalorian.
Don't you agree?
We truly can't wait to see how this epic new space western unfolds. What about you? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to keep up with all the latest movie news from ScreenRant.